I mean, it's like a 30-minute drive. They went to Walmart.
True. All right. The fridge is not huge.
It's no holds bar.
That's not that good.
Videos are fucking dope. I love space. I love gear. We love making noise. But the thing that you fucking is the most important thing is everyone being in a good mood and feeling ready to make something cool, feeling ready to be vulnerable and have fun, you know? It's easy with these guys.
And you can only do that when everybody's like together in the same place, right?
That's for sure.
Trying to get a close-up of the cowboy breakfast or what?
Hey, how was your hike? Nice. Corey's whipping up some breakfast.
My name is John Markson. I'm a producer, engineer, and mixer, and I'm Drug Church's producer on the last 3 records and this one.
Turn the clone on too.
As like a punk and a hardcore kid. When I was in my early teens, I was definitely more into like frenetic, crystal methy music, like like really aggressive technical stuff. But I've always had my heart in like a guitar pop realm, like I love the sound of guitar. I love the texture of guitar and like a rock band, and I love when things are memorable and catchy, but I don't like when it's too sheeny. Like I like this combination of like true grit and salient catchiness, So yeah, I mean, I grew up on on punk rock, skate punk stuff like Descendants and yada yada. Got really into like super aggressive music and metallic music, Converge, blah blah blah. Then I got really into like kind of mathier indie stuff like Pinback and things of that ilk. And then growing up being a producer and an engineer, coming through that stuff, I value more and more succinctness of focus and things delivering like a super memorable and salient experience of a song and of sonics, So I feel like the older I get, the more like some of particular influence wash away, other than where my natural inclinations go, which revolves around some function of catchiness and aggressive texture,
Might not say many times. Yeah, there's a few other songs where we go to the bass verse. This is it feels too easy. Maybe it's a click or whatever. We tried that already earlier today. We messed around with stuff like what if it was more like I think I said that.
What if one of you guys had something and you just didn't know?
With what?
Like STDs.
I found a lump on my testicle like a couple months ago.
That's scary.
I had to go to the doctor.
Is it okay?
Did they do an ultrasound? And put the thing on it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I had to lay there while an old Italian man rubbed a wand on my balls.
With gel?
Yeah.
With gel?
I don't know, I gotta go to a urologist, but they don't think it's anything. They think it's
Is it
just
attached to your nut?
Yeah.
I had the same exact thing.
They think it's a cyst.
Yep.
See, dude, you guys have the same thing. You guys kissing stuff.
Dude, I gave you an assist!
Because I felt it for a while and I was like, I probably should get this checked
that
out.
it?
They always say like,
No.
dude, that was...
Because at least in my, like, the bass is obviously extremely important, but in my opinion, it's always been like more of a guitar band. So it's like Pat Killen's vocals, and then maybe I shouldn't even say that because the drums are fucking sick, but I feel like the guitars are always put first, like leads and stuff, which is fine because I feel like that's what catches people more, at least with our band. Like all this little shit Nick and Corey do, like all the little bends, leads, stuff like that.
But a lot of times it's me coming with a riff. Handful of times it's like Chris or Corey coming with a riff type thing. And we typically, like, sometimes it'll be a fully fledged thing. You know, sometimes like I'll program some drums and send it around and see how everyone feels about it. And then when we get together, we'll jam it. And sometimes it'll stay exactly that way.
There's somebody comes in with a complete idea, like Nick is like, I've got a verse, chorus, and a bridge or whatever. But even then, once we get together and we get into the room, into the studio situation, somebody else might have an idea here or there. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun process. It can be really daunting because when you start, I don't know, when I always feel like when we start a record, it's like I'll think about it too hard and be like you're trying to like reinvent the wheel.
We're writing music for ourselves, you know? So like we want to write what we want to write. I think it's really hard to not think about yourself when you're recording, because we could write the same record as Hygiene or as Cheer, and there'll be people upset that we're doing the same thing. We're like complacent, if that's the word. And then if you go far out, you go crazy, you do like stuff that doesn't sound like you. It might be cool taking a risk, but you're gonna upset people that want you to sound like Drug Church, you know?
You know, in terms of theme, right? That's maybe the vision. The theme is it's got to go in a different direction. I'm still writing lyrics at this time, but it's got to go in a different direction because people are starting to tell me I'm just a broken record sounding like the same old shit. So this one, it's tough, right? Because if I want to start writing about nature, like bubbling brooks or deciduous forest or some shit, I don't know if anybody would enjoy that. So there's a couple commercial concerns, I guess, in the respect that even for a band like ours, some measure of expectation. You know, I guess if I went in a completely different direction, it might go south for us. It's TBD. We're gonna see where we arrive. I don't want to do anything current feeling. I don't want to do anything that can be pinned to a moment. But I still want to be specific. Anyway, this is my cross to bear, everybody. I haven't figured it the fuck out yet.
Essentially, so like.
Try that.
Everything has to go through the lens, like the DC lens. Like everything has to, Pat Wynn has to play the bass. Chris has to play the drums. Because I don't really know how to write bass lines and drum parts and stuff like that, but as soon as I show everybody a riff, everybody knows like exactly what to do. It's kind of crazy.
That actually on this channel right now, we won't do the do bow down do.
Just those accents?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Because we're gonna clean up a little bit for that.
I think Drug Church is just we try to be a consistent band. We're not, with this album, I think we're just continuing to try to perfect our sound, you know what I mean? We're not trying to do something drastically different.
The vision for this album, in my head, and I think we share this, is without it being a conceptual record at all, this is like the third in a trilogy, you know? Like when we did the Cheer sessions, the Weed Pin sessions, etc., we sort of felt like we struck fire on a certain kind of sound for that band, and we all discovered so many things that we grew to understand that we love about Drug Church and that we love about recorded music in general, you know?
I just think you should always just be trying, at least what my thing has always just been trying to do the best version of the thing that I've always wanted to do. Which I think, like, record by record, we get closer to that, or I get closer to that a little bit.
We're just trying to be Drug Church. We're just trying to be creative and consistent with it. So, yeah, I mean, there'll be little influences here or there, or somebody will bring up, something. Like there's a song on the record that, like Nick's reference point was The Wedding Present. So, things like that'll happen where you're like, oh, well, especially if you're trying to think of a part sometimes, if you're stuck, we've got two riffs, we've got a verse and a chorus, but there's no bridge. You might be like, oh, well, here's a bridge that I like. Can we capture the spirit of that while also not just totally ripping that off, I guess?
I don't think it's anything new necessarily. Maybe like some slightly prettier parts, but not really.
When you've been a band for a long time, the only bands that completely fuck this up are bands who think they're smarter than they are. And one thing I can say for Drug Church is nobody in the room thinks they're smart. So it's not trying to outsmart you, the listener. It's not trying to, what would the term be? It's not trying to level up in smart guy points. So the record is going to be good. And it's going to be good because until we run out of riffs and I have no inspiration, it's just we have a thing that we do that I think we do well. So I wish I could say something that would interest you at this point, like, oh no, it's all synths now or some bullshit. It's our synth era, but I can't say that. It's a Drug Church record, just better than the last one. So if you like the last one, you'll probably like this one a little bit better.
It's just straight up music. Like I think maybe for Kinlan, someone who writes lyrics, it's probably much more pulled from maybe like an emotional or like literal like a physical thing that has happened or something that they have seen or something like that. But for me, it's literally like it's just going through all the songs that I love and trying to do it our way.
Yeah.
Ripping off, but like never ripping off like an exact riff, just trying to rip off like the thing that it makes you feel.
1 second, it's kind of all over the place. This feels like the right tempo to me.
That's gotta go on the song.
Percussion Alex right there.
It's a cool sound.
So personal stuff that's appealing to me. I'm in a nice and healthy relationship. I have a stepson. These are kind of new experiences for me. I imagine that'll appear on the margins of this record, but I'll be frank, I don't know if anybody wants to stage dive to dad lyrics. I just don't think that that's a thing. In fact, I think it's bad for your band if you remind people that you're a real person. I think that harms you in some way, right? Like if you have a real life, people that listen to music want you to they want you to be relatable, but only in this cartoonish caricature of what they are sort of way. So if they feel like they're a loser, they want you to be the biggest fucking loser that ever lived, because it's easily understood, it's easily fileable. And if you have a multifaceted life, that's not very interesting. And I'll cop to that too. That's just not, oh, so you're a real person? What am I supposed to do? Have a conversation with you? I just wanted to fucking stage dive, man. So I don't imagine that material will be making it onto the record directly, but I'm in a different stage of life, so perhaps in whatever respect, it'll appear, in sprinkles or whatever.
This is a band that we try to mix like ugly and pretty kind of together. You know what I mean? Like the riffs, the structure, the underneath part of the song is like, somebody said it the other day that it's like Cro-Magnon riffs. Like I don't ever want it to be that complicated. Or I think just in general, the band, like we're not trying to be like a math rock band. We're not trying to play all the notes, but so the structure, I think, of the song is, there's always a little bit of an aggression to it. And then, trying to mix that with, like nicer sounding leads, interesting leads.
This sounds good. Good. Anything I'm trying new? I'm trying different heads on my drums. Like on my toms, I'm trying different heads. And then we got these. Just like stickies. Just that. Don't really use these kind of stickies.
But again, it's still mostly them. I don't know. I guess I always struggled with maybe writing songs or thinking like what I'm trying to attempt is like worth anything. I don't know.
Be as catchy as possible while also sounding just like sonically pretty wild. I feel like that's been the lens for like a lot of prominent bands over like in history. Like I feel like Nirvana and Kurt Cobain just wanted to write pop songs, but through the lens of what they were existing in at the time.
For myself, I would like to hear about people or persons, not peoples, if that makes any sense. I would like to listen to songs that are about tactile experiences that one individual. Now it might be broad. Maybe many people. Obviously, that's what makes it relatable. Many people have experienced it, but the individual to the individual experience is what I would like to sing about. So hopefully I catch that.
I think it'll just naturally evolve if it evolves, which it will. I mean, that's just every band evolves. Even the bands that don't think that they're evolving evolve. But I don't think that we necessarily think of, trying to evolve or trying to be different. We're just trying to be ourselves.
Can you try with the 3 of the same hit, but ring it out like the symbol?
You initially had it.
Yeah, I think I like that. Just because I'm hitting a cymbal that's just washy, it'd be better if I did.
I'm down for whatever.
I think that we could.
Left chord major, Eddie.
Hold open E for the thing.
No, but then.
No.
But that was nerve wracking during hygiene, you know, like they had such a busy year coming from Cheer. Like Cheer sort of pushed them into this position to become a full-time band, and so there wasn't like the same amount of time to sit around and like write new songs, you know. And so that was stressful, but we got through it and we wrote some of our best songs. So on this one, it's kind of a similar process. Like there might be a couple riffs sitting in people's pockets that people are stoked on for sure, but there's not really a song. We just get together in a room and we start chipping away, and then we make a demo, and then we refine it a little bit. And then as we record it in the studio for real, more of like the fine grain of what's happening in the song reveals itself, and we follow those threads whenever they come about, you know? If it's like, oh, we hear this one move that's happening, let's make that a theme of the song. Okay, let's extend this one part by a bar that makes it a little more exciting or whatever. But I think there's like an awareness of the form of our songs that when they start to come together in a room together, we know the direction that they can go. Sometimes there's some question as to what part is going to happen next, but yeah, it's exciting because like there's not many bands that I know that can of this ilk that can write songs in the studio.
I think that there needs to be something you can touch in every song. And when our songs are successful, it's because, and you see this in Dylan songs. I don't like Bob Dylan like that, but he if you listen to his songs, he's got a formula where he might be lyrically floating around the cosmos, but then there's one line, you know, like where it picks up a can of Coca-Cola, you know, and that grounds you to that song in a way where I like Coca-Cola too, you know what I mean? Like I guess I was in the cosmos with him because and you could say that that's a cheap trick or a manipulation of some type, but it's not. It's just good poetry, right? It's just he knows that he can't just be broad. He knows that he can't just be in the ether, you know. It's got to land back on Earth, and it's got to, you know, as they say, touch grass. It's got to have some type of tactile thing. Like I keep coming back to tactile. It's got to come back to, like, what is the feeling? Is it rubber? Is it concrete? Is it a burlap sack? What is it?
Honestly, this song has like a part that I wanted to do, like. Gouge Away. Gouge Away has a really cool part that I took.
The Pixie song or the...
No, the band Gouge Away. A lot, Drug Church. Definitely ripping some Drug Church. And Alex Salter.
That's just the nature of life. You have to get accustomed to the idea that you're going to be outmoded by whatever the dominant paradigm is 10, 20, 50, 200 years from now. And you should just become comfortable with this. I've said this a million times, but the sun is eventually going to eat the earth in such a way that we're not going to, I mean, figures like Jesus and Lenin are just not going to be remembered at all because there's not going to be anybody to remember them. So you got to be less careful with how you present yourself now because proof positive, it does not matter. It does not matter at all. That's what the song's about.
Listening.
Oh, okay.
These are your fears, man, you just gotta deal with it. You can't